So I've now completed all the knitting section of the mini sock, and I've done the toe, and we're now at the stage of grafting the little toe piece. And grafting is when you actually sew up the toe using your tapestry needle. So at this point I'm going to first of all just get my stitches all onto 2 needles. So I've got 2 and 3 needles here. I'm just going to slide them all onto the stitches from the 2nd needle onto the 3rd needle. So we're then going back into having just 2 needles in play. And now we're going to graft these stitches together, which gives a really neat ending to the sock and also means you don't have a bumpy seam. So to graft it, we're just going to snip off the end with a tail end. And I'm going to use my tapestry needle now to sew the toe together. So just threading my tapestry needle. And grafting uses quite a few steps. And once you've understood it, it's a fantastic technique to use, but it takes a little bit of time just to learn how to do the steps. So we start off with a setup step, and we're going to take the tapestry needle with our yarn on it into the front needle. So I'm going to call this one the front one and this the back needle. And we're going to take the needle in purlwise and take our yarn through, and then take it under the needle to the back and take our needle in knitwise. So that's our first step of our Kitchener stitch. And now we're going to use the Kitchener stitch technique, which has 4 separate steps. So we're going to start with the front needle, and we go in knitwise, and we're going to take that one off the needle, and then we're going to go purlwise and leave that one on. Then take it underneath the front needle and go into the back, and on the back needle take the needle in purlwise and take that stitch off, and then go into the next needle knitwise and keep that stitch on. Then come back to the front, and we're going to go in with our needle knitwise and take that stitch off, purlwise and keep that stitch on. Go to the back, go in purlwise, take that stitch off, knitwise, keep that stitch on. So you can see there's 4 steps each time, and one easy way to do it is have a little rhythm with the rhyme. So you think knit, off, purl, purl, off, knit. Let's do that again. Knit, off, purl, purl, off, and knit. Now we're coming up to almost the last 2 stitches, so we're just one more go. We're going to go knit, off, purl, and then purl, off, and then finally knit. Then we just need to take these last 2 off, so we go to finish off front needle, knit, whoops, came off the back, just keep it on for the moment, knit, off, and then purl, off. And what you'll see once you start just pulling those stitches in a little bit, that you've got this completely smooth seam going all the way across. So it's got to really replicate the stitches all the way across. Some sock designs like to pull this in quite tight, so you end up with quite a pinched in toe. But if you think about wearing a sock, you want this seam to be completely flat because you don't want it to be bunching up at the edge of your toes. So you can see how neat that is, that it just looks like continuous knitting. And then just to complete, I would just turn that inside out and just darn in that final end on the inside to complete and tidy up the very first end that you had when you first cast on, and then your mini sock will be finished.